I don't really understand what Katie Price is playing at. She was bankrupted a few years ago, and now she's facing bankruptcy again because of a £750,000 tax bill that she hasn't paid. And she didn't turn up to the initial trial. Um, she went off to Turkey for a facelift. She appeared back in the UK looking puffy and miserable. I don't know what that does to her TikTok and social media feed. And now she's reached an agreement, or at least her lawyers have reached an agreement in her absence. Well, presumably she continues to recover from the facial surgery. Uh, they've reached an agreement that she's going to have to pay back 40% of her enormous monthly income from the adult entertainment website OnlyFans. Well, I didn't realize OnlyFans was so incredibly beneficial. I didn't realize you could make so much money out of OnlyFans and TikTok. Apparently, her TikTok revenue has been frozen because TikTok don't know how to respond. But they say they're not trying to get in the way of the legal process. They're simply trying to work out what to do next. And so far, I think their payments have been suspended. And it's uh, oh, the whole point about bankruptcy is that you're supposed to be able to pay off your debts and then move forward. And in the meantime, you declare that you've got no money and you've got no assets, and therefore people can't be running after you willy-nilly. That, I think, is the principle of bankruptcy. I may be wrong, and please feel free to correct me. The other day, I was so tired, I referred to Harry and Meghan as the Duke and Duchess of York, which is, of course, absurd. The Duke and Duchess of York are about to become homeless. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex have made their own home elsewhere. But Katie Price, Katie Price seems simply to be an absurd figure, and it's got nothing to do with the look with her wearing this mask and wearing some sort of light brown jumpsuit. It's got to do with the absurdity of, on the one hand, claiming bankruptcy and on the other hand, raking in cash for what? Showing her OnlyFans supporters the brilliance of the cosmetic surgery that she has so far achieved. It shouldn't be her who's getting the financial reward. It should be her surgeon. And 40% seems a reasonable sum to be paid by Price. I agree, but maybe she should be paying practically the whole lot until she pays off her debt. And it seems absurd that somebody who is a serial bankrupt can possibly keep doing it without some sort of serious reprimand. And I'm surprised the court is so lenient on her in the circumstances. They want to make sure that that there are potentially substantial sums flowing to Price from TikTok so that money can be recovered. And I suppose the fact that Price keeps her name in the papers by constantly declaring bankruptcy means that people are interested in her because she's a name that people recognise. But price, yeah, there's a big price that needs to be paid for all this recognition. As far as TikTok was concerned, she was paid nearly £10,000 for some sort of arrangement, and then she's had other smaller smaller sums. It's not, on the whole, a great amount of money. I think her real cash comes from OnlyFans, WeFans, OnlyFans, OnlyFans. I can't remember what you call it, and OnlyFans, OnlyFans. It's a foreign country to me. I don't think I'm going to be trying out OnlyFans, but I have tried out TikTok, and I sort of quite like it. It's a platform that requires some sort of vocal frugality. You have to get your ideas in very quickly, and then you have to go to another little device. I use a thing called CapCut, I think, that puts captions all over the place and little pictures and so on. And if you're clever, it can remove all the ums and ers. I believe I've not quite worked out how to do that, but of course, in my case, any platform that manages, or any software that manages to do that, will be working overtime, because I'm a dreadful and ara, and so I like TikTok significantly more than Instagram. Instagram, I've not quite understood the purpose of Instagram. TikTok makes sense. It's a way to make a modest amount of money, I think. And YouTube. YouTube is a wonderful platform. It certainly works for me. It allows me to pontificate. I accuse other people of pontificating, but yes, I have a habit of being rather sententious, and I think it's either that or I'm poking fun at it, and I don't quite understand how you get into the middle line where you're sort of just interesting and humorous. I think it's sort of one or the other. But yes, I'm. Yesterday was my YouTube birthday, and I've been on YouTube since 2011, and I think that's something of an achievement for somebody who's now over 60, and I get up early in the morning, I read the newspapers, and I continue dabbling with newspapers until the late evening. Yesterday, and in fact most of this week, I'm teaching from early evening through to quite late at night, so that takes out a significant part of my YouTube journey. But normally I would post a few times a day, and in between posting, I get on with animation. I get on with my real work. I tend not to look at what I posted, so I rely very much on comments to tell me that I posted the wrong thing or I've said something stupid. And I think, well, is it right to go back and correct? Actually, no, this is now a historical document, and I need to live with the consequences. And in the same way that I don't remove comments, YouTube does, I notice. I think I shouldn't remove videos. I've now got a pile of mugs. So far, they're awaiting approval by YouTube. I noticed this morning it says not approved, but I don't think they've been disapproved yet. But we'll wait to see. I don't understand how these things work, and it's all a learning curve. But my goodness, it takes its time, and we wait to see. But so in one sense, I take my hat off to Miss Price, but in another sense, I think there's an element of foolishness about all she's doing, and the price for fame is too high, really.